we pulled the adventure card. How appropriate for this like wands and fire energy we are getting. And again, Jupiter rules Sagittarius. That is a fire elemental sign. It very much represents the spiritual quest in a lot of ways, the higher octave of it. Because, you know, the Knight of Wands is a lot of people in less evolved readings will say, and that's no disrespect. I mean, everybody does their readings their own way. I just choose not to tap into those energies. But a lot of people look at the Knight of Wands like they're a player, you know, like they don't follow things through, but they're actually truly a spiritual warrior who is close to becoming a leader in their community, because the next step would be the King of Wands, right? And the Emperor is also the fire energy, and they're above the King of Wands. So through your spiritual wisdom, through your transformations, this is an adventure. This is something that we all go through, and you can either choose to pursue the adventure or you can choose to stay stuck. And you may say, well, this is happening to me, and this is happening, and this is happening to me. I'm not choosing this. Sure. Sometimes things will happen in our lives that we don't have a choice on, hence tower moments, right? Excuse me. I'm going to get some tea real quick. Somebody doesn't want to talk about adventure anymore. They just want security, and that's understandable. But unfortunately, we do have to work for what we want, most of us in this life. And even those of us that are in a position where we don't have to work for what we want, the divine will challenge us and make us find a way to do the work anyways. Trust me, nobody is exempt from karmic lessons. Okay? And even if you've cleared your karma and you're now in your dharma, remember, every decision affects you. What you pour into is what you're going to get, right? So if you choose to move with integrity, you're going to live an integral life with people around you that you can trust. And of course, sometimes the divine will bring in people that you can't trust, that do take advantage of you. And that, again, could be a lesson in forgiveness for you, or it could be a reminder of showing you how far you've come when you're able to assert boundaries where you weren't before. So that's seeing the growth, right? And Jupiter is about growth and expansion. So that'd be good for some of you to think about. So this oracle card is rolled by the samphire flower, Chrysanthemum maritimum. Wow, that was not a fun Latin word to say at all. Anyways, this flower kind of looks like chamomile or a small yellow daisy. It has very airy leaves that kind of weave and quiver up, dark green, white. I'm guessing that's the dried leaves. It even looks like a little chamomile flower closed, so it's possible it's in the chamomile family. And chamomile is about attracting abundance and happiness and joy and strength and success, more fiery energies, right? Makes me think of Leo. The strength card we pulled, we didn't pull the strength card, but the strength oracle card, right? Let me find this in the book and see what we want to share. Here we are. Okay, so synchronistic number. Oh wow, page 144. Some of you are going to know what that means, if you, especially if you identify with the Temperance card. So, hey, if you understand what that means, 145 could also be a synchronistic number. 146. It is an edible wild plant found along coastlines across the northern hemisphere. So it's commonly found around salt marshes, so coastal areas. ocean has always held our imagination and is strongly tied to change and exploration, leading to the oracle property of adventure. Never far from the sea, this salty little friend reminds us of the captivating power of the ocean and the many possibilities the world offers. Oh my god, this is perfect. A related tarot card is the Two of Wands, in which a character holds a globe in his hands as he stands above a harbor with the horizon before him. This card represents all the wonder and opportunity the world has to offer if we are willing to go out and pursue it. Are you stuck in a rut, seeking new challenges, or feeling stagnant? Maybe it's time to put the old behind you and strike out into something new. Holy wow. And that is what the Knight of Wands does, right? And the Emperor. Except the Emperor is usually in the Chariot, which we also got. So some of you are definitely on your way to new adventures, or it's about being able to perceive. And I say, look, perceive new adventures, right? The opportunity and struggle you can find, and whether it's your struggle or somebody else's, if you look at life with an open heart and open mind, you can see the lessons in everything, right? You can use a higher perspective, you can use the gift of discernment, and you can use your wisdom and experience to guide others, guide yourself, and also learn from others who are trying to guide you. A lot of it has to do with putting down pride and ego in order to accept help for some of you. Now, I said the Two of Wands card being a companion card for this is so perfect because we pulled the Two of Wands in reverse earlier. Right, and I said that for some of you this was going to be about not putting a fork in the road, not traveling down this road again with somebody, or knowing that you have options and you have two different directions you can go. So I feel like it was necessary to mention that again, that for some of you, you will always have another path if you choose it. And that includes those of you in a position of higher status and those of you that are not. The question is, can you find the courage and strength to be up to the task? And for some of you, you don't have a choice. You just have to have it. And the divine will guide you through that if you allow them to. You can yell and curse and be mad at them if you need to be, but just say, I surrender. F you, but I surrender, right? And then eventually over time, you'll like feel bad about it. You'll be like, I'm sorry, divine. And they'll be like, it's cool. Because you know, the thing that you get with the divine that you don't get with most people, unconditional love. Unconditional love is what the divine has to offer you. And again, I'm a non-denominational channel who has a pagan background, who was raised a Christian, and I have studied many different metaphysical and esoteric topics, and I have a very open heart and mind. And I work with and know and communicate and love people of many different paths and many different belief systems. And the one thing that we can all agree on, the one thing that we have in common, and I've said this in another video, is faith. And if you are agnostic or atheistic, or you only believe in your path, that's fine. Find the faith within yourself or your path. Of course, I hope that you do not try to use your path against others to use it as a position of power, because that can be the negative representative of the Emperor, or the King of Wands, or the Knight of Wands in reverse, right? Fortunately, we didn't have those cards in the reverse. We didn't have the King of Wands. So some of you, I think, are already in the King of Wands energy, but you're quietly in the background. Maybe some of you in that energy don't want people to know you're in that energy because you don't want to have to deal with them. That just came through for somebody. So there's a whole other group that's been quietly sitting in the background. And for a King of Wands energy, bravo. That is not easy for a King of Wands. Some of you might just be newly in your power in a position of spiritual leadership, and you're not quite ready to be seen out there because of the healing work you've been doing. And if that's the case, then focus on your path and how you can build up to that emperor character where you feel comfortable in your own authority. Okay? So I'll just leave this on other names of the plant: glasswort, sampan, sea beans, sea asparagus, and sea fennel. Interesting. I sometimes teach people about wild edibles, and again, don't go eating random plants, okay? Like, work with somebody who knows about herbalism or foraging, and also always consider ethically harvesting. Like, if you're interested in harvesting herbs, I have to put this out there as a responsible herbalist, also as a steward of my land. Like, when I harvest, you only ever want to harvest a third of a plant, and if you are spiritual, you always want to ask the plant's permission, and you'll feel an energetic response, right? And some people go to the extent of leaving offerings to every plant they harvest from. A way you can do that, if you don't have anything physical to give and you have enough energy, you can offer that plant the energy of love. So you can imagine, if the plant accepts, and this again, it's an energetic workshop you can do, and you can be in any position in life to do this, to work with nature, right? You just kind of, you ask the plant, may I have a clipping? And you'll feel a yes or no. Some of you will hear it inside your mind, not outside your mind, okay? If you're hearing voices outside your head, then you might want to talk to a professional, just disclaimer there. But if you are psychic or intuitive or do energy work, you're going to know the difference, right? That was important for some. I don't know who. So, yeah, and then if the plant accepts, just imagine like this pink or green light, which is the heart chakra, right? Those are the colors for the heart chakra. Just imagine that around the plant. Just a little boost to the plant, right? And that in itself is kind of like a prayer, right? So that's one way that you can give back to environments or to things that you use. You know, perhaps that's also a message for people who feel guilty about needing help a lot. If you don't feel like there's anything tangible you can give in exchange, perhaps acts of service are ways that you can. Now, again, be careful who you're engaging with, because some people will take advantage of kindness or acts of service. Even people who are in positions of power, who have it to give, that seem like they have good intentions, even that can become a trap for some people. And I don't want people to get lost in fear here, okay? I just want you to be aware that there is a certain point where you have done enough, and you need to know yourself and be able to pay attention to your surroundings in a healthy way, not from a hypervigilant fear response way, but in a healthy way where you can see how the dynamic is working, and you'll feel it. Again, pay attention to your body. Okay, everyone, I don't have any shop updates. I did leave some at the end of the June Astro highlights and Luna notes. I hope you enjoy that. I hope you all have a wonderful week whenever you are catching this reading. If you came up with any journal prompts on top of the reading, I would love to read them in the comments. And again, thank you to all the new subscribers, to all the ones that have been here all along. And check out the community tab for the